Here we go. Just finding you all on my iPad and we will make a start. Okay, let's go. Put some lights on. Great. Okay, morning everybody. Welcome to my Monday morning Facebook Live. Hope you're all very, very well. I can see a few people are joining. Thank you so much for joining me today. I had a lovely weekend. I did some crafting on Saturday. And then it's Father's Day here yesterday, so we saw some family, had a lovely dinner, and it was just a really nice day. Husband was quite happy, football was on, happy husband always is a good thing. And today I've been tidying up. Finally I've had time to tidy up after a really busy week last week. We went off to Peppa Pig World on, what day was it? Thursday, which was lovely. Made such a nice change to have a day out like that, and the girls loved it. So very busy few days here. I'm going to do a little bit of off-the-cuff crafting today. I'm not sure what I'm going to make. I've got some things on my desk, and we'll see where they take us. And yeah, let's get started. I hope you're all very well. Feel free to ask questions as we craft along, and I hope you enjoy. So let's make sure we can see what I'm doing. Morning Joanna, you're watching whilst you're working, fab. Okay, so I am going to do a little bit of a colour challenge today, and the colour challenge has come from the Global Design Project, which I entered last week, and I'm going to use these three. So these are the three colours that are in the challenge this week. We've got Blackberry Bliss, Fresh Freesia and Pear Pizzazz. Okay, colours that I'd probably put those two together, but I wouldn't really think to add a green. Now because of the green, probably people are probably thinking I'd go florally, but actually I'm going to go with what I used last week, and this is the Nothing's Better Than stamp set, and I'm going to go with the cocktail. So last week we did the cookies. I'll just grab that, what I made last week. So this was the cookies one from last week. Nice bit of two-step stamping. And I showed how to get the different tones of the same colour, but today I'm going to go cocktails. So let's make a little start. Let's pop these bits to one side, and we're going to take out some stamps first of all. Now this stamp set has been around for a while, but I didn't actually purchase it until this month because I've just been umming and ahhing. Do I like it? Will I use it? But actually I think it's really, really fab. So we've got our little cocktail glass, we've got our little infill one, and this is really cute. It's got the ice built into it, which is a lovely little addition. And we've got this little one here, which is the umbrella. Let's just put that back together. And I'm going to do a little bit of, I'm just going to do some technique bits and pieces, I think. So we're going to start by stamping in Memento. I love a bit of Memento. And I think I'm going to go with 3 of these. Lovely. Makes me want to be on a beach. And then we're going to go with some of this lovely colour here. So this is Fresh Freesia. So all you do is you ink up that stamp, line it up, and then pop it in the glass. Doesn't that look brilliant? I really love that. And then we're going to do a little bit of blending with our daubers. So let's just see where my Blackberry Bliss one is. Let's have a Blackberry Bliss. And this is a good technique to use with these stamps. I've got a dimensional stuck to that. So we're going to ink up our stamp with the Fresh Freesia, and then we're just going to go around the bottom of that with the Blackberry Bliss. Okay. And this is how we get a kind of two-tone effect on that. Doesn't that look lovely? Really like that. And we'll do the same again. Just like so. You can do this with any of your stamps. Lovely. That looks delicious. So then we want our little, let's have our umbrella in Pear Pizzazz, shall we? So you get a great little selection of stamps with these. So this is the little umbrella. Which I'm just going to line up. Nice. And then actually we want the lemon, so you even get the little lemon half as well. It could be lime if we're sticking with our colour scheme, but I am going to add the lemon actually. Let's have some Delight. There we go. Not sure if you're meant to add another colour, but you know what? We're going with it. Look at that. That looks good enough to drink, I think. What do you reckon? So we've got a little die for this as well, which I'll just grab. So these are the Love You More Than dies, which go with it. And I think I'm going to keep my design quite simple today. We'll let all the focus stay on the cocktails. Absolutely looks delicious. It does, doesn't it? Let's just stick that down with a little bit of washi. Okay, I'm just going to run this through my die machine. And then we have our little cocktail. That looks good enough to drink, especially on a dreary, cold Monday morning here. I really hope the sunshine comes back soon. I'm back to wearing cardigans and jumpers because it does feel so chilly. Two. And then this one. Like so. Okay, so here is our lovely trio of cocktails. And now let's start thinking about our cards, shall we? So let me put my cocktails to one side and let's cut a little card base. So I've got here some thick basic white card. Okay. And I'm going to cut a regular sized card base. I'm going to turn it round. I've got the long edge at the top. I'm lining up between 14.8 and 14.9 centimetres and scoring. And then I'm going to turn, line it up at 10.5 centimetres and cut. Hi from Australia. Oh wow, thank you Patricia. Lovely to have you. So happy to see me live. Oh bless you. That's really kind. So let's give that a little fold. 2 jumpers and 2 pairs of socks. Oh, Elizabeth, you poor thing. If there's any consolation, I'm back in my jumper today. Okay, so we've got our little trio of cocktails, but I want to do something else on there. So let's add a little bit of this lovely purple. Or should we add green? Let's add green. Let's add some Pear Pizzazz. So I'm going to take this down by 2 centimetres. Now let's do 1.5. 1.5, so 9 centimetres that we're going with by 13.4. So it's just a little bit smaller. And then I want some white as well. So let's do, we're 9.5, so let's take it down by 3 millimetres. So let's do 9.2. 1, 2. Just want a little border of that green showing, and we'll have 13.1. I tend to work in odd numbers. Does anybody else do that? So that will give us, oh, just cut that too wide. Oh dear, 8.7 was my measurement because that was 9, wasn't it? Deary me. So we've got that to one side. So, oh dear. A little tidy up this morning. Everything feels a bit odd. So we've got 9 centimetres by 13.4, and then we've gone for 8.7 by 13.1. So that will just give us a really nice border of that green. Okay. So now I want to do a little bit of embossing, just to get a bit of a texture going on that. But before I do, let's do a little bit of blending. Just a little bit. Just want to take some of the white away. So let's have a little bit of blending here. And it's going to be barely kind of noticeable. That's good. So I've just done a little blush mark really, and I've got the Tasteful Texture embossing folder. I've actually just ordered some new embossing folders. I always forget about embossing. Does anybody else? But there's some really nice new ones in the catalogue. So I've just ordered a couple of new ones. I went for the leopard print one. So who doesn't love a bit of leopard print? And I think I went for the little knitted looking one. There we have it. So that's just texturised that a little bit. And then we'll add a little bit of ink splashing, I think. So I want a dark Blackberry Bliss Stampin' blend. And then we have just a little splash of ink. Can you see that? Is the camera picking that up? That's really funny, Elizabeth. I feel the cold really bad, and that's not funny, obviously. My husband is from England, and he always says I'd never survive the winters in England. Well, it can be quite harsh here. It feels like the winters are getting milder. Does anyone else feel like that? I know this winter it really didn't feel... It was cold, but it's definitely been colder. So now we can just put our little cocktails on. Little trio of cocktails. I'm going to pop them on with some dimensionals. And these are just going on at random. Morning, Anne. Just seen that you've joined us. Joanna's put, I alternate between centimetres and inches all the time. I really do as well. I think some projects just work, I get my head around them a lot better if they're in inches or centimetres. Okay, so that's coming along nicely. I think we now need to do a little bit of adding a sentiment. So we've got here, today's plan, consume cocktails. Cocktails kind of day. Cocktails because adulting is hard. Let's go for, what should we go for? Cocktails because adulting is hard. Let's do that. Where is it? Because adulting is hard is up there. And then I'm going to do some die cutting, I think. So let's just go with this. Let's have a little bit of black card. Do love a little bit of heat embossing, as you know. So I'm just going to start with my little embossing buddy, and then we can stamp this. so. Add a little bit of embossing powder. That's good. Let's just heat that. Trim this down, and I'm going to cut these into some little word. I'm going to cut them into 2 little strips. This stamp set is great for doing this with. Oops. Let's cut our little cocktails out. I had the guys here a moment ago, and now they're right in front of me, dearie me. Cocktails, lovely. And I'm going to cut this out with a little bit of this. These are the foam sheets. I can't remember what they're called exactly, but they're really handy. So let's get a bigger piece of black card, and what I want to do is I want to cut that out so it's roughly the same size, like so, and we're going to stick that to our piece of black card, and then we'll turn that over and lay that on, so then we know when we cut that out it's going to mount up, layer up really nicely. You can stick it down with a little bit of washi just to secure it if you want to, but if you hold it tight enough it won't move. Ooh. Let's bring this back over. We want to make sure we don't lose the dot above the eye. The trick is to just ease this out gently. There we have it, we've got that off. Okay. Can be quite tricky to get out because it's quite a detailed die, so just use your pick tool and it will come out quite nicely. The dot above the eye is still in there, so we'll take that out in a moment. So we've got that right now. Just want to pop out those pieces from inside the letters. This is where I find having long nails doesn't actually help. Come on. I'm just doing this off screen because it's a lot. I'm leaning over my desk. Okay, we're nearly there. One bit to go. in the K is not playing ball. Got it, I've got it. Done it. Okay, so we have our cocktails word now, and actually what you can do with this, you can actually swirl it so that it will you can actually change the way it looks. So I'm just going to angle that. Let's stick that down first. I want to put some ribbon through this, but we'll do that afterwards. Okay, so that's my little channel for the ribbon. So that's just going in the centre of that card, and then we can now stick this down. So we've just angled that a little bit. We need to get the dot out of here. Cocktails. And then here we've got, because adulting is hard. Where's my glue? Like this technique. Oh, thanks, Maz. Because adulting is hard. Sometimes it sure is. Now let's add a little bit of ribbon, shall we? I've actually got some Blackberry Bliss ribbon. Move that out of the way. And I just need to do, absolutely, Joanna, feel free. Anything I do, I'm happy for anyone to case. Definitely, that's what it's all about, isn't it? So where's my ribbon? There's my ribbon. Lovely bit of ribbon. This is from the ice cream suite, this ribbon, and it's really, really lovely. So I'm just going to pull that through, cut a bit off. Let's give that a bit of a tie now. So all I've done before I've stuck that down is I've just made a little channel for that ribbon to go through. A very true sentiment. It sure is, Anne, isn't it? So then let's just pull that down a little bit. You know me, I always like to tie a bow twice. Let's just trim these little tails down. Like so. Now, if you want your bow to kind of be in a different direction, which I do, I want my bow to be like that. You can do it with a little bit of, you can do it with a glue dot. Let's just take a little glue dot, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my glue dot underneath, and then I'm just going to turn that so it sits how I want it to sit, like so. And now let's just make those a little bit shorter, like so. So there we have our little cocktails because adulting is hard card. I just need to add a little layer inside, so we'll just do that now. Pop that over there. turn this round. So this needed to be 13.4 centimetres long, didn't it? Oh, wrong one. And then we want this one here, which needed to be a little bit thinner, didn't it? So let's go with 8.7. That's better. And we want 13.1. Okay, and then before sticking that in, let's just do a little bit more, shall we? So let's go back to our cocktail. Pop that there. And then we want our colours, don't we? So let's bring this back in, give it a little stamp, ink it with the Fresh Freesia, and then bring in the Blackberry Bliss and add the Blackberry Bliss just around the bottom. Like so. And then we just want to do our our lemon and our umbrella, don't we? Umbrella and the lemon. Perfect, and now we can stick that into our card. Oh, morning to you, Denise. It's because you've been too busy watching Pretty Woman, isn't it? Pop that on there. So we've got the same lovely size border going on there. And then this can be stuck into our card. Like so. And there we have our finished card design today. So we've used the Nothing's Better Than stamp set again. I've gone for 3 colours. I've gone for Fresh Freesia, Blackberry Bliss and Pear Pizzazz with a little bit of Daffodil Delight thrown in onto our lemons. I've used a really easy technique to get the two-tone effect on the cocktail. And that's just used with a little sponge dauber. We've got our lovely sentiment cocktails because adulting is hard. Added a little bit of ribbon. And then inside we've got another cocktail. So that's my card for you for today. Thank you so much to everyone who's joined in, chatted along. It's always nice to spend time with you. Lots of nice comments here. That's beautiful. Love the colours. Thank you so much, everybody. I'll be live again this week on Wednesday at 8:30 in the evening. Do join me if you can. If you wanted to purchase any of these items, they're available through my online store. The link is at the top of this post, or visit www.staceymarsh.co.uk and all the information you need will be on there. Don't forget to enter the host code, which you will receive a free gift from me next month. And if you've got any questions or just wanted to say hello, please get in touch. I'd love to hear from you. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy your week, and I hope to speak to you all very, very soon. Thanks so much, everyone. Bye for now.